Hi everyone. Well, before we got on with carrying on with the pie charts, I thought we'd have a little bit of a starter today. I remember how a lot of you quite enjoyed a good old number pyramid. I know I like them. So pause the video as long as you're aware that if you add, this is 26 because 15 add 11 makes 26. I can work out that this one here, I've got to add 1 to something to get 23, so that must be 22. So that's 22. So pause the video and have a go, see how much you can fill out, and then see if you agree with me. In a moment I'm going to put my answers on here. So we've got 3 for 1 add 2, 23 for 21 add 2, 11 add 22 is 33, 23 add 3 is 26. By the way, if anyone thinks I make a mistake, do message me and let me know. So 50 plus, I reckon that makes 60. 50 plus 13 is 63. We should have 50 and 6 and 3 is 9, 59. 63 add 59. Now I'm going to add 60 to make 123 and then just take 1 away, 122. This is 120 plus the 3, 1, 2, 3. 60 plus 26 is 86. 122 and 123 is 2, 4, 7. 120 plus 80 would be 200, plus the 3 and the 6 makes 209. And 52 and 86 makes 138. Now you could double check with a calculator if you wanted to that those two were right. Now adding these, I'm going to take no chances and use column addition. 11, 5 add 4 is 9, add 1 is 10, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 801 goes in the very top. Right, I'd like to start off today by showing you the question I'm not going to show you now, because I would like you to have a go at this question and upload it to us. But don't have a go at it before we've done the other bits. But just to show you that if you have been able to print it off, by the way, that's excellent. If not, if you could just copy out the table, that'd be good. I would like you to add 2 columns to what we've got going on here. And 1 column, which we can make a little bit thinner. Now I should have used a pencil here, shouldn't I? You can see I'm going to make it all smudged. Never mind. So we're going to have the angle multiplier here, which will be the same number that you multiply each one by. You are going to need to add up all of these, which should come to that number there, and all the people are going to have the same number of degrees in the circle, which is what's going to give you that angle multiplier. But you should have more of an idea about how to do that when we've gone through the other questions leading up to this that we're going to do today. And so here is where the angle will be, and then just putting that in there, there and there, and when you've done all of that, the angles should add up to 360 degrees. Now that's the bit I'm really bothered about you doing and having a go at doing this probability question. Part B, draw an accurate pie chart, show the information. If you've got a protractor, then give it a go. If you haven't, then don't worry too much. Right, so we're going to carry on now with question 3, which has got some information here. If you think you can remember what to do from yesterday, then pause the video and have a go. Otherwise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the table this way around here. I'm just going to do it quite small. So I've got French, German and Spanish, and we've got 58, 33 and 29. Now this is what's called the frequency, and I'm going to add these up because this tells me how many people there are, how many students need to be represented equally in the pie chart. So if I add all of those up, I get 8 add 3 is 11, add 9 is 20, carry the 10 twos, 2, 4, 9 plus 5 is 14. So we've got 140, which doesn't seem a very nice number because 140 doesn't go into 360. So I'm going to double check that. 11 plus 9 is 20. 5, 8, 10, 12. Oh, got that wrong, didn't I? There's 120 people there in the total frequency. So what we need to do now is make sure that those 120 people are equally represented in the whole circle. And the whole circle is represented by 360 degrees. Divide that by 120, the total frequency gives us 3. So that is 3 degrees per person. So I'm now going to do times 3 times 3 times 3. That is my angle multiplier. 58 times 3. Now if you want to use calculator for doing this, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. A lot of these questions are in calculator papers. That gives me 174 degrees for my angle. 33 times 3, that's an easy one, 99. And 29 times 3, well, 3 times 30 is 90. Take away 3 is 87. Now, in order to check that everything is right, I need to add these up because we should be sharing out 360 degrees. 9 add 4 is 13, add 7 is 20. 9 add 7 is 16, add 8 is 24, add 2 is 26, carry the 2 into the hundreds column, 2 plus 1 is 3, so it's 360. So that's right. Now that's the main thing I want you to be able to do. But the next thing to do in order to draw the accurate pie chart, and you do get a couple of marks for doing this, so it's worth doing, is you need to get the protractor and a pencil if you don't want things to smudge. So I've got myself a sharpened pencil now, so that'll help. Now whenever you measure things, if you go clockwise, because you always have to start at 0, then you can do the outside numbers, which aren't as confusing as the inside numbers. Now first thing to do is get the middle of what I call the target on the center of the circle, and then line up your 0 line with the line you're going to measure your angle from. Then I go round 174 degrees. So there's 170, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just there, make a little mark, and then draw a straight line from there through to there, and I mark on there 174 degrees. It's almost a straight line, but not quite. 99 degrees is the next one. So now I just move it round so that I've got the 0 on here again, the center of my target on the middle, this line going right along, and then round to 99, which is one before the 100, just there. It's not this one because that's on the inside track, going on the outside track. So I've got my mark there and put my line in at 99 degrees. Now there's only one left, so that should be 87. I'm just going to double check that it is just about by putting the 0 on there, and yeah, that looks about right. You can be 1 to 2 degrees out in a GCSE exam, by the way, and they will still give you the marks because of easy to make measuring errors. Now I should also always say what it is that I've got in each one. So here is French, here is German, and here is Spanish. Now down below here, pause this and have a little look at the question and see what you'd reckon to this. So Maggie says pi this is languages studied by Year 11 students at School B, so a different school. Maggie says the pie charts show that more Year 11 students at School B study French. And it is a bigger wedge, isn't it? But actually Maggie is not right. No. There's only one mark, by the way. If you don't explain your answer, because it's just a 50-50 stab of no or yes, you don't get any marks. No, because it's only the proportion that we know is bigger. We don't know how many students are in School B. So we know how many students this represents, but we don't know here because they haven't said how many students we've got all together. If we knew how many students are all together, we could work that out, but we can't from that. All we know is that a slightly higher proportion of them take French, but if it's a smaller school, it could be less people. Right, here's question 4, and this time I would like you just to pause the video, have a go, but then I'm just going to, whilst you're doing it, have a go at doing it, and in a few seconds it's just going to cut to some of my answers on it instead of me just working through it all, and then you can see how well you've done. Okay, so pause now. Right, so what I did was I added them all up, got 40, did 360 divided by 40, which means it's 9 degrees per person. And then I timed everything by 9 to give me 81 degrees for digestives, 135 for custard creams, 144 for shortbread. This is obviously made up stuff because I've never heard of people just coming up with 3 biscuits like that. Whilst we're on the topic of biscuits, here's my biscuit for today. Who can tell me what that's called? A bonus positive for whoever gets me that information before next time. So what type of biscuit is the mode they want to know as well. So the mode is the most common or the most frequent. So the most popular biscuit is shortbread according to this. That's nonsense, isn't it? No one likes shortbread that much. Right, anyway, so we're going to have another go at a couple more like that. Oh, by the way, this is what if you manage to draw the pie chart as well, well done to you. 81 degrees for digestives, 135 for custard creams, and 144 for shortbread. Here's a nicer question because you've got the table laid out in the right way. So it's also got a little question about fractions of the cars. So have a go at doing that. I'm not going to bother drawing this one. I just want to know what the angles are, please. So pause the video now and then I'll go through it in a moment. So hopefully you got to here. Added up the frequencies to 60, divided 360 by 60, which gave me 6 degrees needed per car. 6 times 24 is 144 and so on. And that gave me these 4 angles, which I added up just to check that I've got it right, and I had because it was 360. Last thing it wants to know is what fraction of the cars are white. Give your answer in its simplest form. So how many cars are white? There's 15 out of 60. So that's a fraction. That would get you 1 mark, but 15 goes exactly into 60. So if I divide top and bottom by 15, that actually means, because it goes in 4 times, a quarter. Now it may be that you spotted that 5 goes in and you divided by 5, and that would have got you to 3 there and 12 there. But 3 still goes in to 3 and 12. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, 12 divided by 3 is 4. Gets us to the same thing. And that's because 3 times 5 makes 15. I should put that there. Okay, right, we're going to have a go at another one now, question 6. So take your time, copy it down, and pause the video now. I shall talk through this one a little bit more just in case anyone's still confused. 42, 62, 72. That means I now know how many people are in there. Now 360 does divide by 72. If you remember yesterday when we did our factors of 72, it actually goes in exactly 5 times. So it's 5 degrees per, what sort of things is it? It's students, it's favourite sports of student. So more people liking football than the other, no big surprise there. And that's because we've got to multiply by 5. So we could have worked that out by doing 150 divided by 30. 12 times 5 is 60. 20 times 5 is 100. 10 times 5 is 50. And if we add those up, we do indeed get 360 degrees. So we know we're right. What's the probability their favourite sport is netball? Well, how many people like netball? 20. Out of how many people are there altogether? 72. Now you might say that's not in its simplest form, sir. With probability, it doesn't matter. And we don't like to simplify it because sometimes there are other questions which are more difficult if you have simplified it. Find the probability their favourite sport is not netball. So there's 72 people who aren't. There's 2 ways of doing this. You can add up all of these others, or you could do 72 out of 72, take 20 out of 72, is going to give us 48 left over. Not 48, that's nonsense. 52 left over out of 72. Okay, right, so now we've got to that point where we've done all of the questions up to question 7 except for question 7, and I would like you to have a go at question 7 now and then upload however you've got on with me and got on to me, and I can have a look at that, and it'll help us look at that in a lesson or 2 when I've seen some of those. Okay folks, goodbye.